Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Come on in. We're live. All right. Just want to make sure that I'm not hearing myself. There we go. Hi. Welcome to Music Forward's Open Mic Fridays. I am Maya Jupiter and I'm filling in for Lydia Caesar tonight. And I'm so excited to be back here with you, bringing you the freshest new talent from around the globe. Thank you for joining us here on Twitch, and don't forget to subscribe to Music Forward here on this platform so that you never miss out on anything. It's really easy, just click the button down the bottom. Before we get started, let me tell you a little bit about Music Forward and Open Mic Fridays. Music Forward connects young people from our communities directly to the music industry via career and artist development programming designed to transform young lives, inspire careers, and champion a more inclusive music industry. Open Mic Fridays is a performance showcase where young artists share their talent, gain exposure, and get live feedback directly from music industry experts with successful careers in music. All right, so back to tonight's show and our amazing lineup. First of all, we're going to need a little help from you, our audience. From tonight's lineup, we'll be inviting back two special performers for our finals showcase in December. One will be the artist with the most fans in the audience, so be sure to participate in our poll taking place at the end of today's open mic on Music Forward's IG page and Music Forward, and show some love for your favorite. So if you're not following us on Instagram, just open up your IG app right now and follow us at Music Forward. Not to mention, we've once again partnered with Sennheiser to provide professional equipment to our artists, which is really exciting because the two artists selected tonight will receive a Sennheiser Evolution E835 microphone to use for both recording and for stage. And the artists selected from our end of season showcases will also receive a pair of headphones, an audio interface, and a 1-hour private session with an engineer. That's pretty awesome. And now, before we get started with the performances from our amazing young talent, let's meet our industry guests. Industry guests, please turn on your camera. First up, we have Mystic, who's an artist, label owner of Beautiful Soundworks and just an all-round amazing human. Mystic is a Grammy-nominated artist who is also an activist, community educator, scholar, and beloved daughter of Oakland, California. As a solo artist and member of the legendary Digital Underground group, she is known for using her craft to heal and build community. An advocate for and with children and youth, her work with Schools Not Prisons, Grammy U, and Diversify the Stage provides opportunities to mentor young people who wish to be part of the music industry and help transform their communities. Mystic is honored to serve as chapter governor for the Recording Academy San Francisco chapter. Welcome, Mystic.
Greetings, Maya.
So nice to see you.
So lovely to see you. It's an honor to be here with you today.
I have a question. What is the number one thing you see artists get wrong when they try to break into the music industry?
I don't know if it's the number one thing, but the first thing that comes to mind is artists thinking that they have to change themselves to fit in with what the music industry is doing, as opposed to looking at themselves and saying, wow, I'm really powerful and I have my own story to craft and tell.
Yeah, that's great advice. And make sure you check out Mystic's new album, Dreaming in Cursive, The Girl Who Loves Sparklers, which is out and just got released. Our other wonderful industry guest is Mr. Jeff Siegel, owner of Fundamental Music. Jeff started his career as a musician, playing guitar with Geffen recording artist The Nymphs. In '95, he moved over to A&R and has worked in that capacity for Columbia, Giant, eMusic, and Curb Records. In the summer of '03, he started Fundamental Music and has been running the company ever since. Welcome, Jeff.
Good to be here. Thank you.
It's nice to have you. Thank you for joining us. What inspired you to start a company?
I don't know why I'm laughing about that. Well, boy, it's a good question. I don't know. I can't remember. I've been doing this company for 20 years. I think, you know what, I think I wanted to be able to work in music, and I didn't want to have to be in a corporate setting, because that can be difficult to navigate, and it can be, I don't know, less than sure. So I thought, well, if I set up my own company, I'm never going to be fired, or not yet,
Yeah.
at least. So
All right. Thank you so much. Please turn off your cameras because we're going to get this show started. Okay, but first, I'm reminding you all that the chat is open tonight, so show some love for the people that's coming here to, really showcase their artistry, be vulnerable, and bare their souls for you. Let us know where you're joining from, and send words of encouragement. And please keep your comments positive and supportive for all the artists here to perform for you. Coming to the virtual stage right now is our first performer, who I'm so excited to see. I got to coach earlier this week in a mentoring session, and really she needed no coaching at all. Megan Windsor is coming straight off the SoCal sand. She's a singer-songwriter and an up-and-coming artist who everyone needs to know. Being described as an entirely unique brand of ethereal synth-pop music, it's her catchy melodies, thought-provoking lyrics, and unique indie sound that resembles the 80s classics, contemporary hits, and alt music legends you know and love. Her recent release, 11, dropped on January 11, 2022. The album consists of 11 pop rock hits about love, loss, growing old, and misogyny. Please welcome Megan.
Hello.
All right, I'm gonna turn off my camera and let you take it from here.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Megan Windsor. Thank you so much for tuning in. This song is really near and dear to my heart. I started writing it when Roe v. Wade was being talked about being overturned, and finished it after it was overturned. And it's my open letter to the Supreme Court. So this is called School. You're still unmuted. Oh, okay, never mind. Here we go. Got on home to tuck her in, getting by, cause I'm just a kid. Before I'd go and play, but I don't have time for jail today. And I never wanted this kind of life. I have 3 jobs and I ain't a wife, cause he ran away, but I don't have time for him today. You said it's a sin to F on bed, but your son got off with a chick or two. Now I'm stuck bringing his kids to school, and you say I can't choose my own way, cause I got off on an F or 2. Now I'm stuck bringing his kids to school. Mama told me to carry a knife, but it ain't working in the shooting fight. I'll tell you, baby girl, you ain't got rights if you wear a skirt. And to the kitchen you want some more, a jelly sandwich while I go to war. How could I ever be so dumb, thinking girls like me could ever speak up? Cause you said it's a sin to F on blame, but your son got off with a chick or 2. Now I'm stuck bringing his kids to school, and you say I can't choose my own way, cause I got off on an F02. Now I'm stuck bringing his kids to school. Yeah. I'm stuck raising his kids. Now they're doing drills while the shooter kills, and my baby fights for her goddamn rights. Are you happy now? Are you happy now? And when they're out, hear them scream and shout, but your ears go numb while you twiddle your thumbs. Are you happy now? Are you happy now? And every day I drop her off, never knowing if I'll pick her up, cause a shooting gun fought my losing fight and won.
Woo! Oh my goodness, Megan, that song! Wow, it's the first time I heard it, and even now I just stabs you. That was really good. Please welcome our industry guests back, Mystic and Jeff.
Hello.
Mystic, would you like to go first?
Yes. Oh, Megan, thank you so much for just opening up your heart as well as using your art to address what's happening in our world. I was struck by the melody that you created both vocally and on your guitar. You left yourself some space to move around. You also are using a playfulness with the way that you're doing your delivery in some ways. I don't know if you're familiar with Ani DeFranco.
I
And
love her.
oh, yes, we love her, right? And your song reminded me of something that she would have done, where you are asking people questions, right? But making this commentary and empowering yourself as an artist who is also a woman. So I want to say thank you. I hear you. The only kind of little piece of feedback that I would give, well, two. One is keep being fearless. And the second one is add in a few more spaces to let your guitar breathe. Because it sounds like you're a beautiful player. And I think it would be beautiful to let people also think about the power of what you're actually saying, because you're addressing several different areas. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Jeff?
Well, first of all, thank you for playing, because it's incredibly brave to do this. Just doing something like that on Zoom Raw, I don't know if I could have done it back then. Maybe play guitar behind you, but not sing. So I just want to say that. I thought there was a lot very good about that song. Your voice, melody, but I like to, I want to give you some critical feedback, or we're wasting our time, right? It's just too competitive of an industry. And I think I'm building a little bit off what Mystic said, which was, I thought that song could have used maybe a more distinct chorus, that it flatlined a little bit.
Okay.
Right now, I know that, maybe you were going for more of a folk vibe, and, like Bob Dylan stuff, he sort of didn't bother with the chorus much. But especially when you're in your beginning stages, it's really easy for people to zone out because there's just so much coming at them. So I would like to challenge you to, not necessarily with this song because you've got it written, but with the songs you do in the future, work on structuring your melody. So like the verses here, the pre-chorus is here, and then that chorus opens up, and it's simple. It's a little bit more, less words. And that to me is sort of what I thought Mystic was sort of saying, is that in songs, if it's too dense with too many words, people just zone out a little bit, right? They just need that chorus to come in and sort of reset them. And then you could go back in the verse and tell them about, Roe v. Wade. So I'm going to sound like a broken record today, because I find with most artists, what's going to separate you is the songwriting, right? And I'd rather just be as hard as I can on you now, because why not? We're here, and let's not waste time. So often it's always going to get to the writing with me. So look, love what you're doing. Keep doing it. You definitely got something. And, hopefully, employ that in the next however many songs.
Thank you.
Thank
Actually,
you.
that was one of my concerns with the song. So thank you for saying it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
So thank you very much for that feedback.
Not a problem.
Yeah.
And do you have a question for our guests?
I do. So I'm primarily a songwriter. That's all I want to do is really just write songs. I don't care if I'm on stage. I love the process of creating the music and writing words and connecting to people. Do you have any advice for an up and coming writer to get into those writers' room?
I was going to say maybe move to Nashville, because there's so much of it there. I think you still, my suggestion would be probably to try to write with a lot of other people, right? And you may want to still continue yourself as an artist, too, because you got to get that attention, I think. So I hear you, and it's a great goal, because just being able to write songs is great. But I think you're going to need that attention as an artist as well.
Mhm.
I think it's a great question you asked, and it's like life. It's probably complicated, right? There's no one thing. Yeah, that's the best I can say on it right now.
For sure. Thank you.
I would also just jump in and encourage you to seek out opportunities for mentorships, right? Where you can connect with people who are engaged in songwriting. And like I said, I went and looked at your guys' IG. You guys seem to have a beautiful circle of friends and people who you're connected with. So I would encourage you to also collaborate with your fellow artists, right?
Yeah.
Right, for them, have them see how it sounds, play around with the approaches to songwriting that you're taking. And yeah, I think it's beautiful to be a songwriter, though.
For sure. Thank you.
Great advice. Thank you, everybody. You can all turn off your cameras now. And we're going to welcome our next wonderful young artist. Coming to the stage right now is Marley. The silky smooth vocals of Sensation Marley will leave you stupefied as you take in her impeccable vocal delivery and gracefully commanding presence as a performer. The Las Vegas-based recording artist brings an R&B and pop flavor to the table that is uniquely soulful with a retro undertone, yet still shines brightly with a contemporary flair. Welcome, Marley, to the open mic stage. Hey.
Hi, my name is Marley, and I'm going to be performing one of the songs that I freestyled. It's called Guess Who. Ooh, ay, ooh, ooh, ay, ooh, are you now? Look how you just let me down. Let me fall on the ground. You didn't get me. Yeah, you just left me. You disrespect me. Disrespect me. So this feels like met you before, maybe in a past life. What you did ain't right. I couldn't sleep at night. So where was you?
Woo. Oh my goodness. Marley. Wow. Let's welcome our industry guests back to give some feedback. Mystic and Jeff. Jeff, do you want to go first this time?
Yeah, sure. No problem. Well, very nice to meet you, Marley. Thank you for singing. I said this to Megan before you, but it's incredibly brave just to get up and sing on Zoom like that. I really like what you were doing. I like the vibe of it. I thought it was, interesting and atmospheric. I think that I'd say the same thing to you that I actually said to Megan, which was, I think the song would have been better maybe if there was maybe a chord change or somewhere else to go to. that it felt to me like it was a little bit too much the same throughout it, right? And maybe a chord change would get you to write like a different melody, sort of something more identifiable as chorus. That helps sort of break up the song, makes the verses more sort of special. There are no rules in songwriting, and you should never feel like you have to do something. But I felt that song could be improved by doing that. I'm probably going to sound like a broken record today, as I said before, but I find that songwriting, structure, that kind of stuff is the thing that most young artists sort of need to, get above. So that would be my one take. If I could give you any, criticism to sort of help you with the writing.
Okay, thank you.
You got it.
Mystic.
Yes. See, there's that smile, right? You have this incredible light. Again, I went and checked out your guys' everyday lives. You are a fierce, young, brilliant artist who has these angelic qualities to your voice. And I thank you for sharing that piece. And I also, part of what my feedback is half like, I want to commend you for playing with layering, right? Because I can hear that you're playing with layering and you're playing with harmonies. And you may even be playing with some panning when you're in the studio. And so I love that. I think it's incredibly important in what we're hearing sonically in soul and R&B at this current time. So my encouragement would be to be careful about your note selections of your harmonies in the background and what your primary vocal note is. Does that make sense when I say that? So your main vocal, when you have all those pretty kind of airy things happening in back, select what your front vocal note is going to be, so that pops through what you have going on that's kind of atmospheric-y, as Jeff mentioned, but that is really beautiful. And I think that will help to start to shape your songwriting and pull out the differences between the verses and the choruses, because you're playing with some really beautiful things. It's just kind of hard to hear them all.
Okay, thank you.
If you came to support Marley, be sure to show her all your love in the chat and in our fan poll. Now, Marley, do you have a question for our industry guests?
Yes, I do. My question is, being that the music industry is a very cutthroat industry, what's a virtue that you go back to when you're, in a dilemma or you're going through a hard time or business problems?
Good question. Mystic, do you want to jump in on that first?
Surely. What I go back to is love, right? And how we surround ourselves with love. I often talk about clean hands, clean heart, and the way that we should move. Even though the business is cutthroat, it doesn't mean that we have to be in some way cutthroat in a way that is harmful to other people or to ourselves. So to come back and center yourself in that love, right? And also just clean heart, clean hands. Am I doing what I am supposed to be doing? But don't let people step or walk all over you. But it is a beautiful thing to hold on to being a loving, warm, open, human, and creative and artist. Don't ever let this business take that from you, no matter how cutthroat it is.
Okay, well, thank you.
Beautiful.
Mystic, that was beautiful. Maybe I should have gone before you, because I don't know if I can be able to top that. What came to mind was this. You're right. The business is cutthroat. It's very, very competitive, and only so many artists are ever going to be able to, make a living at it. But what I think, or what I go back to, at least for me, is I love music. I love making it. I love being in it. And I've spent my whole life either making it or working behind it. So remember, when all the business stuff is going weird, and it will at times, you love music. You have to love music, because nobody would put up with this industry if they didn't love it, right? So remember that. Don't let anyone ever take that away from you, how much you love it, joy it gives, and a reason to live, and all that stuff. So
Thank you.
I wholeheartedly agree with both of you so much. I mean, yeah, and you know what your purpose is and you know why you're singing. So I think just, always just keep that close.
Will do.
Thank you all. You may all turn off your cameras now. That was a vibe. That was a vibe, Malay. You gave us a vibe. I didn't get to hear it earlier with the music, so it was nice to hear it. And I know we had some technical issues, so we'll have to look up your performances on your IG. Please follow all of these wonderful artists that you're seeing here today, and follow us at Music Forward on Instagram, and that's where you can participate in the poll at the end of the night. All right. Coming to the stage right now is a beautiful queer and Filipina songwriter, producer from San Diego, California, now based in Chicago. Her musical works are a tasteful blend of alternative, indie, acoustic, and cinematic influences. Coupled with her raw, authentic lyrics that are directly inspired by her personal experiences and struggles, Ina hopes that others are also touched by the stories that she shares. Please welcome to the Music Forward stage, Ina.
Hello, hello. Thank you, Music Forward, for having me. I'm super excited and honored to be here. I'm just going to jump right into it. I'm going to be performing an original song that's out on all platforms called Camino Se Fe. And a little background about the song to get real and vulnerable with you. This song is about the night that I ran away from home and almost ended everything. And I know it sounds counterintuitive to write a song about something so tragic, but for a long time, music has been my outlet. And a lot of people have told me that they resonate with the message, which warms my heart, but also breaks it at the same time, knowing that a lot of people my generation have been met with this kind of crossroads. So if you're watching and you resonate with this message, I want you to know that my heart goes out to you, and I'm so happy that you're still here, and I'm happy that I'm still here. I hope you guys like it. This is going to be the stripped down version, but again, you can listen to the full production on all streaming platforms. So yeah. I tried writing in pages this time, hoping that it'd stay in the lines. Unlike the fairy tales and storybooks I'd read, wishing I could relive everything. 'Cause it ebbs and flows like the waves, but I wish it didn't even stay. It's not a reoccurring movie scene I wanna play again and over again, till I suffocate and I can't explain to my friends why I'm gone again, or to my sister on the other side of the wall. And I try to resurface before it rises and falls, but I've got a dozen missed calls. So here I am on the sidewalk, right along Camino Santa Fe. It's been 19 years, can you blame me? I've had a long day, and she's on the line asking where I am, and I stand. Oh, I hesitate, she's probably not that far, but now I'm counting cars. God, I'm falling apart, and every headlight's coming closer, but I keep moving further just down this edge. But it's my best friend, and she slows down, ask me why, and I don't know what to say. But can you blame me? It's been a long day. So I need to go. to go, 'cause I gotta know, isn't this my calling, or was it my fault? Thank you.
Yes. Oh, wow. That was wonderful. Thank you, Ina. Welcome back. Please welcome back our industry guests, Mystic and Jeff, to give feedback. Whew. I need a moment. The talent here today. Mystic, do you want to go first?
Sure. I'm so thankful that you are alive and that you are here with us today. I'm thankful everybody on here is alive and everybody who is watching. I really honor you for being that vulnerable in both your opening, but also your music. I actually love the way that you positioned that song and the way that you told us about yourself. It's a very engaging way to share something with people who may not be familiar with your music. As somebody who experienced a lot of trauma growing up, there is intense power of healing in the art that we create. And I'm sensing from you that is part of the journey that you are on. And so in the most loving way, I just want to say, be careful that you don't have to stay in your trauma. Part of the power of art is using the art to imagine ourselves. And I think you're well on the way to that. And I mean, you know, as you say, like 19 that you're talking about and writing this song, right? You've got a lot of time. There's an incredible sweetness to your voice. Your structure, and I get it because of what you're talking about, and you're describing scene and you're describing self. But you know that a couple of times you say it's been a long day. I'm not saying change the way that you've written the song. I'm using that line as an example. That's a beautiful open space where you might think about repeating that, because everything you're telling us, like, it has been a long day. Right?
Right.
And then so you could repeat that a couple times, and then you had a line where you sang about needing to go. And I would encourage you also, because I listened to this in the recorded version, to think about how you can open up space, repeat a line, but have a kind of contrasting line underneath. Does that make sense? So you could have it's been a long day, but underneath of that, in the space between the two lines, is and I think I need to go. It's been a long day, right? And so there's some open space there. So I don't mean to be long. You're incredibly beautiful. Your voice is beautiful. Your spirit is beautiful. And I think you've got a bright future, and I hope that you will stay with us.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the feedback and the kind words. That was really, really beautiful. Thank you, Mystic.
Mystic's the best. I'm sorry, Jeff. I should have had you go first.
No, Mystic is the best. I agree. She is
so loving. So loving.
It's hard to follow. Well, first off, thank you for the the message that you gave in the beginning. I hope we're edging towards a world where nobody will ever feel bad about being gay. I know we're not there yet, and it's a shame. Now let's get to the music. I like a lot of what you're doing. I really like your voice. It's sort of tender and breathy, and it sounds really natural and honest. And you've got a good sense of melody and pretty good lyrics too. There might have been, if I was working with you in the studio, there might have been once or twice I might have said, maybe we can use a different word there, because, always be careful. There are some words that can be clunky, right? And the challenge in writing good lyrics is, you know what? I got to say what I want to say, but use lyrics that, move nicely. And that's sort of it. And yeah, I'm going to tap into what Mystic said. The song probably could, I rarely say this, might have been a little bit longer. And I think you could look at the structure a little bit, some space, repeat a line a couple of times. our brains just like that stuff in songs. It's trite, it's cliche, and yet every good song has it, except for a few outliers. But I think you're on your way. Please just listen to great songwriters, Elton John, Elvis Costello, and hear what they do and tear it apart. But yeah, I think you're on your way. Keep learning every day. Keep writing lyrics. I think that's all I got to say.
I want to
I
throw in
appreciate it.
Fiona
Thank
Apple
you.
too. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. I wanted to throw in Fiona Apple too, in terms
Oh,
of
I love Fiona Apple. Thank you for that, Rick. Yeah, but thank you both, Mystic and Jeff. Very great feedback. I absolutely agree, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Enjoyed it.
And if you came to support Ina, be sure to show her love in the chat and our fan poll. And Ina, if you have a question for our industry guests, take it away.
I do, yeah. This question is for like aspiring independent artists like myself. There's a lot that goes into it with self-marketing and self-promoting. What advice do you have for these independent artists to not get so burnt out and finding the balance with not only recording their own stuff, but not get so like drawn and like in waves of like all these emotions of trying to promo yourself? Like, what advice do you have for us to find balance and not lose ourselves along the process, if that makes sense?
Great question.
Yeah, it does make sense. I think, you're talking about something very important. There's loving music and writing music, and then there's being in the industry, right? And sometimes the two can be at odds with each other. Unfortunately, to be successful in music now, yeah, you do have to be in social media and, gaining fans and meeting people and making connections. It's just part of it. All my friends who work at major labels tell me they're not going to sign if they come across an act, no matter how much they love it, and there's not somewhere numbers, they're not going to sign it, because I guess that says to them, well, how hard does the artist really want to do this? I mean, so the advice that I can give you is the social media stuff is going to burn you out. The promo stuff is going to burn you out, but go back to how much you love music and writing, and sometimes pretend like there is no music industry, right? That you actually cannot make a living at music, right? Because I have a feeling that wouldn't stop you from writing. You obviously have something to get out, and I just think you would do it anyway, right? So fall back onto that sometimes, catch your breath, and then, go right back into the jungle and, do what you got to do. That would be my suggestion.
Yeah, social media. Oh my goodness, right? So here's the thing about promo marketing and if we focus in on social media, I think the feedback that I want to give is that you are in control of your image and the energy that you share and the energy that you take in. And that might sound a little like, kind of out there, but what I actually mean is, because people have to talk with me about this. I'm a really private person, and like, I love the art, but think about the different ways that you can share. It doesn't have to be in a traditional way that some other artist is sharing. It's also okay to say, hey, I don't know if I'm really great at this, but I wanted to check in, or, right, this is what you get to determine what parts of your life and you want to share. And I said this actually the last time that I was here. I think that there are some artists to look at on their social media. One of them is Sun Little, who is a really awesome musician. And it was really beautiful to watch the way he kind of shared the process of making his most recent album, but didn't really allow people to come in, if that makes sense. So, and always remember that you can take a step back. There is nothing about this industry ever that deserves your life, or that deserves for you to sacrifice your mental health or your spiritual health or your emotional health. And the industry is hard, and there's hard days, and there's times where we question it all. But when it comes to something like social media, it's okay to take a step back. You don't owe anybody like your balance and where you are. So long answer, but like control it. It's yours, master it, but don't feel like you owe anything like that would ever put you in a place that you're not feeling happy or well.
Beautifully said. Thank you both. I appreciate the advice, and thank you again so much.
Both
You
great
got it. You
advice.
got it.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Mystic and Ina. You can all turn off your cameras now. And this is, advice for everybody watching at home and also the other artists here. I mean, it's such a conversation, isn't it? Social media. Whoo, it's hard. Okay, coming to the stage right now, it's my pleasure to welcome another fantastic artist. On par, this is a quote, on par with anything you'd hear on Top 40 Pop Radio by Henry Bishop, Senior A&R at BMG Music Publishing. There you go. Pretty awesome thing to have said about you. Pascal Schrady is a singer-songwriter who grew up in Germany to American parents and now resides in Los Angeles, California. In his time in Germany, Pascal saw himself as an outlier among his peers, often feeling out of place. This pushed him to dive even deeper into his music and focus on his creativity. Pascal wants his music to make a lasting impact on society. He's expressed the aspiration for his songs to have the evergreen effect that the work of some of his influences have had. He's inspired by artists such as Michael Jackson and Lady Gaga, whose music has stood the test of time, and he'd like to follow in their footsteps. Please welcome Pascal Schrady.
Hi guys, my name is Pascal, and this song is called Down. I wrote this for my then girlfriend during the pandemic when she was going through a hard time. And it'll actually be coming out on all platforms early this coming year. So I'm excited about that, and I hope you enjoy it. I just threw a coin in the wishing well, 'cause I overheard you're not feeling well. Baby, I know you'd never ask for help. I know what it's like when you lose yourself. Boarded up windows and blacked out curtains. I wish you could only see. I'll be your rock when things are uncertain. Come on, girl, just trust in me. Baby, it's okay if you're feeling sad. I ain't trying to let you go down like that. I'ma be the one that'll have your back. I ain't trying to let you go down like that. These people you call friends laugh and say, oh well. They say jump and you say might as well. Maybe you should tell them to go to hell. You got that magic they want, everyone's under your spell. Baby, it's okay if you're feeling sad. I ain't trying to let you go down like that. I'ma be the one that'll have your back. I ain't gonna let you go down like that. Down like that. Down like that. I ain't gonna let you go down like that. Down like that. Down like that. I ain't gonna let you go down like that. And I know things can feel bad. I'll pick you up and help you stand. Oh, and I know when things don't go your way, sometimes it's hard to go on another day. I'm here to say it's okay if you're feeling sad. I ain't trying to let you go down like that. I'ma be the one that'll have your back. I ain't gonna let you go down like that. Baby, it's okay if you're feeling sad. I ain't trying to let you go down like that. I'ma be the one that'll have your back. I ain't tryna let you go down like that, down like that, down like that. I ain't gonna let you go down like that, down like that, down like that. I ain't gonna let you go down like that.
Yes. Woo! Well done, Pascal.
Thank you.
So good. Let's welcome our industry guests back on, Mystic and Jeff. And we'll see Jeff coming on. Jeff, would you like to give some feedback to Pascal?
Would. I enjoyed it, Pascal. Good song. You have got good sort of pop sensibilities. Good melodies. The chorus lifted. I would have liked to seen you throw a chord change in there, perhaps, because I think that would have helped, break up the song a little bit. I don't think the chords changed till you got to the bridge. So, and I'm not saying I'm absolutely right about that, but if I was, producing you, I'd say, look, let's fool around with a little bit of chord changes here and there. But other than that, I think you've got a good foundation. I think you're on your way. I mean, keep listening to great songwriters and observe what they do and put that into your music. I mean, what's going to separate any young artist from another artist is the quality in the songwriting. There are a lot of great singers, performers, entertainers, but if you're a great songwriter, that's unique. That's the 1% of 1%. So just keep doing what you're doing. Keep pushing yourself. Enjoyed it.
Thank you so much.
Mystic.
Oh, thank you for that offering there. I am going to agree with Jeff in the most brilliant way. You do have he calls it a pop sensibility. I'm going to call it like this sensibility of tuning in with the frequency, as what my mentor Shakji used to say. If we're lucky, we can tune into this frequency where the melodies, the harmonies, the expression, and the structures of our song kind of flow through us. So yes, you have this wonderful pop sensibility. The way that you wrote that chorus and that it comes in, I found myself singing along by the second one, and I really enjoyed that. I love that you're playing piano. I'd like a little bit of space in there, and people are always going to let it breathe a little bit. Let that piano play. Shock G from Digital Underground, amazing jazz pianist behind all that hip hop. And to hear him play and us kind of freestyle and sing back and forth was always about leaving the space. And so I think it would be really brilliant. And you may have other songs where you leave some of that space, but great songwriting structure. I too would like a chord change in there. But I also I'm interested in like what it sounds like when you've got some background harmonies going on, and both the piano and what's happening there can grow underneath your chorus, and then the layers of it. So I think I just said a lot, but I think you're on a great path. And my final note would be, give us a little bit more when you introduce that song, because you wrote it during the pandemic for the girl that you were with, and she was down, and I don't know. And then what? Did it lift up her spirits? Did she cry? Would you offer it to everyone now that she's not your girlfriend anymore? Just, think about that original kind of setup for the people who are checking out your art.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Do you have a question for our industry guests?
Yes, I do. So my question is, you guys are both very involved with giving back to your communities. And my question is, what advice would you give to young musicians on how to give back to other artists and like lift up young artists in their communities?
That's a good question. I think for young artists, the best thing that they can have is for other people to give them, critical analysis. And you seem to have some understanding of songwriting that I think other artists would appreciate. You understand structure and melodic development. I got to tell you, not a lot do. So I think, sort of mentoring others in some songwriting chops, that's the first thing that comes to my mind, right? And as I think any young artist would appreciate that, right? So that's what comes to me.
I think it's about like, what matters to you? What is important to you? What do you care about in this world? And it can be, yes, you really want to share how to write songs. It might be something about what's happening in the world. I watched your video when you were on the way to a protest. You and Megan might be able to come together and expand the song about rights and right. I'm just saying that it's what matters to you and where do you care, because you may also have opportunities where you can mentor other young artists about how we can use our art in connection with social change. Because we can talk about social change, but if we don't have songwriting skills and we don't have, voices that pop through and melodies that pop through, then people often are going to miss our beautiful, powerful messages. So with those songwriting skills that you have, that might be a way to bring them both together. And I don't mean to put you and Megan together, but I did see that you were on your way to the protest, and Megan also did, use her platform to talk about one of the same areas of justice.
Awesome. Thank you guys, both of you.
They should definitely all know each other and connect. And I mean, that's what this is for, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I know that when I was young, a place to record was always a thing. Like, where can we record? Free studio time. So, that's also another way you can really tangibly support other young artists who don't have the setup that you have, right? To lay tracks down. So, Pascal, you may now turn off your camera. Thank you for joining us. And if you came to support Pascal, be sure to show your love in the chat and vote in our Instagram poll, in our fan poll, because they could come back in our showcase weeks. Okay, I have a final question for our industry guests. We've come to that final part of the evening. Mystic and Jeff, what would be the one piece of advice you would give to our up-and-coming artists that you haven't already said?
That we haven't already said.
Or you can reinforce it.
or reinforcement. Make sure that, you stick with your love of the music, no matter where this journey takes you. Because, the business can be brutal, and be open to critical analysis, hear what people have to say, because that's an important part of honing your craft. I think those are the two things I can think of.
I would absolutely concur. And I would also, and I don't think that I said this in as many words, like, hold on to your beautiful, brilliant, amazing selves and being an artist. This world is not always made for those of us who have creative spirits. So make sure you hold on to that, whether that means that you are making art that is then turned into commerce or not. I encourage you as you move through your lives as artists and just as humans and loving people to understand that you are multi-layered and diverse. And there are so many different parts to you, and that the way that you see the industry now, or the way that you're writing now, or the direction you're in now, that can change. As somebody who's been an artist, who now owns a label, who's worked on the back end at a major record label, who's in publishing, who's now just directed a video. Like, I never thought that when I was 16 and I was becoming a rapper that I would ever do any of those things. I never even thought I would sing. So yeah, my parting kind of offering to you all is that you are brilliant and beautiful, and you are full of infinite possibility. Do not confine yourself in the boundaries of what this music industry is. Have it work for you, enjoy it, move through it, excel in it, and then also do all the other things that you love in life.
Beautiful. Thank you both so much. You really imparted, so much wisdom to our young ones here performing, and also those watching online. So thank you both. Thank you, Mystic, and thank you, Jeff Siegel, for being our guest today.
Thank you, Maya. Thank you, Jen.
I'll say goodbye to them as they turn off their cameras. Once again, my name is Maya Jupiter, and it was my pleasure to host Music Forward's Open Mic Fridays. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Peace.